It's about time. Telling y'all I was going to bring the content on my fertility journey, my fibroid journey, and all the above. And your girl has really taken her time with it. So here we are. My journey started basically in like late 2019, where I went to a fertility place that had like a open house free fertility test where they basically test your AMH. Now you're gonna have to do your own Googles because I'm not Febby on here. I'm not Google.com, dictionary.com. I'm not gonna be explaining everything. So just, I'm gonna tell you what it is. And if you don't know what it is, Google it. And I'm not a doctor or a scientist. Okay? I told y'all I was gonna give you this real raw. Okay? So I went and got a free AMH testing. Mine was like just right below 1. So it was like normal, but below normal. So they wanted to tell me to take other tests, which are like your saline sonogram, where they fill your uterus and your fallopian tubes up to kind of see if there's anything inside that they can see, any blockages, any fibroids, polyps, etc. Of course, an ultrasound, vaginal ultrasound, a lot of other blood work and testing to look at your hormone levels and things of that nature to see what your body is trying to tell them that they need to know. All right. So when I did the free testing event, I just was like, okay, you know, got the information they said and kind of put it on the back burner like most of us do with anything that might be a little bit scary. Later on in 2019, I was like, all right, let me stop playing. Let me stop delaying, you know, let me see what's going on. So went back to the place and said, okay, these are the things I want to do. I had to look into see what was covered by my insurance. Major key. Look into your insurance thoroughly. Ask a lot of questions. Know your policy because, baby, that's a whole nother video. So, once I kind of got an understanding of the insurance, what was covered, how much things would cost, we said, okay, let's move forward. By that time, doing the saline sonogram, they're like, okay, yeah, you got fibroids, da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, what? We got by? Never heard it before this day. Never, ever, ever. I'm someone who has regularly gone to their annuals and getting their pap smears and everything. None of my gynecologists have ever brought this up. So that was the first big bomb drop. I was like, but we'll get into that in a second. Then basically they wait till you get all your blood work, your testing, all the different things they require you to do done before then you meet with your doctor and they say, okay, this is what we see. This is what we think. These are your options. Okay. Now in fertility, there are a lot of options. Some people want to dive right in and do the most successful thing, and that thing may be the most invasive thing in terms of hormones and medication and procedures and stuff like that. Some people are okay with diving right in. Some people want to work their way up because this is all new. It's all personal. Do not feel like you got to do what somebody else does. I'm going to share my personal opinion about some things, but don't feel like you got to do what I did. I just wish somebody kind of told me this or said this in this way when I was doing it. So I'm going to say it in this way. Okay. Y'all already know. Y'all already know what we doing here. Y'all already know what we doing here. Okay. And if you're new here, you don't know me, you stumbled across this somehow through the interwebs, welcome. So AMH free testing led to all the other testing that they recommend to get a like diagnosis or understanding of my body and where I'm at. At this point, I was like mid-30s. So that is old maternal age in the uterus world. But there can be a number of different reasons why you might not have trouble conceiving. That's why there's a number of different routes you can go with treatment. Some people can just get some extra hormones and medications and conceive naturally with those extra medications. Some people can have procedures to get things back intact or remove polyps or fibroids or any other blockages that they may see and then conceive naturally. Some people, you know, have to do IVF. Some people IVF might not work for. There are so many different cases. I literally can't sit here all day and discuss them because I don't even know them all. But what I will say is that do your research. I know it sounds cliche, but do your research, not just what that doctor or facility is telling you. Do your research across the board about the topic, because I do feel like I wasn't that knowledgeable. So I just went in blindly, just listening to whatever that doctor told me because I just trusted what they said. And I'm not saying they told me anything wrong, but it's just better for you to have your own understanding of how your body works and how things work before you go in to get like a medical opinion and diagnosis and advice on next steps. You know what I'm saying? Every fertility place, every fertility doctor, every fertility treatment is different, and every person's journey is different. Okay? So from there, they explained like, okay, well, we do see some fibroids. You have larger fibroids on the outside of your uterus, but on the inside, we only see some small little fibroids like pileups. And what we can do is this procedure called a hysteroscopy, where, you know, we go in and there's a camera, and then also this thing comes through. It's the camera, it's the thing come through that's like a little knife, and it like, we gonna go in there, we gonna scrape that thing off. Bing, boom, bop, you good. You know, it's an outpatient procedure, you know, minimally invasive. And basically the fibroids on the outside, we're going to leave alone. We're not going to touch. They over there, we over here, we working on the inside, they on the outside. As long as they not affecting what we got going on the inside, we can move forward with fertility treatments. Now, once again, that's why I said know what you need to know about what you need to know, because then I feel like my journey would have been different had I had a better understanding of these things. But because this was my only resource that I was taking knowledge and information from, I trusted the route that they said to go. Okay. Basically, they said, you know, you don't really want to do the invasive surgery of removing the fibroids on the outside, because they got to cut you like a, you know, they may have to cut you like a C-section, and then that may cause scarring. So I'm like, whoa, like, yeah, leave those alone. I'm good. Let's get the little shit-ink on the inside, scrape, you know what I'm saying? Like clip the cuticle, you know, and let's get it popping. One, because of time, like I said, mid-30s, I'm old. My uterus is old. They trying to tell me that thing on the way. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? Let's get it popping. So they're like, okay, you know, one, you don't want to waste time doing the surgery, recovering from the surgery, which if you're new here, I ended up having the surgery. Oh, surprise. Okay, so a hysteroscopy, they go in there, they can then get a better look of your uterus, see anything that might be not giving what it's supposed to give, and hopefully, you know, like I said, scrape it off, get it together. It's an outpatient thing. You in and out, bang, boom, bam. They do put you under. So with that, the problem with that for me was my weight. Or my BMI. They like to say BMI because they know that ain't the same as weight. Like, oh, your BMI. That can be something that can cause issues with any surgery, any type of procedure. So this particular place, though they could have did it at my doctor's facilities, because I never done any type of procedures with them, they felt more comfortable doing it in an actual hospital. That way, if anything was to go wrong, due to this BMI being higher, if anything was to go wrong, they got everything they need. I'm already at the hospital. It wouldn't be like, I got to transport you from here to there. So now I'm scared. Because I was like, okay, you're going to go in with the little cuticle clipper, get the pop, 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 and I'm going to be out of this joint. But now, y'all talking about I got to go to the hospital. At this point, your girl is nervous. So I agreed to do the hysteroscopy, did the procedure. It was a little scary. My mom and my husband were there with me, and they hit me with that thing. I was gone. I was gone before they wrote me down the hallway, and it was good. In and out, they said it went good. My doctor said, and it was my doctor from the fertility facility. They just had to do it at the hospital. So she was like, everything went good. Everything looks good. We did remove a small polyp or fibroid in that area of that tube that we saw when we did the salient sonogram that had a little something right there. We were able to remove that. So it's looking great. We'll talk more when you're conscious. So went home, healed, recovered, and then now it's time. Now it's go time. Essentially, it's like, okay, what we gonna do? What treatments we doing? We jumping right in that joint. We going straight IVF. What we doing? How we doing it? And here comes stinking IUI. Now I told y'all this to keep it real space. It's a safe space. So I'm gonna say what I want to say. And I just feel as though IUI, like, I don't got no beef with you or nothing. I don't really know you like that, but IUI is when they take the sperm and they place it after giving you medications to, you know, make sure you're going to release your egg and everything at the optimal time, and the levels is the way they want the levels to be, they're going to take the sperm and they're going to put that sperm right there where it's going to be able to meet the egg. And then hopefully it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? It do the science. I'm not a scientist, I already said that. So the thing about that is there can be multiple reasons why this might not work. So IUI has about a 15%, like I said, I'm not a doctor, a scientist or whatever, but I believe it was 15% success rate, which is rather small compared to, on average, IVF's 60% success rate. Now, this varies depending on age. This varies depending on other things. So I say on average, and I said I ain't a doctor or a scientist, so don't start in the comments. But I'm just saying, it's way, way less. Now, the price and the medication and the hormones and the invasion of your body in terms of procedures and things like that is way, way less too. So some people feel, let me go ahead and get a couple IUIs going to see if anything happened before I go big IVF. IVF is big joker. IVF is big, bam. IVF is big joker, right? So a lot of people feel like, let me throw out this like ace of spade. Okay, if you don't play spades, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. But let me throw out this ace of spade. See what it could do. Like a jack queen low key. Like, let me throw out this jack of spade. See what's gonna happen. Is it gonna walk? It got ate up, you know. So it's still nerve-wracking and stressful because you still want it to work and be successful, you know. When you hear something only has a 15% chance or something like that success rate, you try not to get your hopes up. You're kind of just like, oh. I know for me, I just felt like I was doing it to say that I did it in case it did work, so I ain't had no regrets in case it did work, you know. But it didn't work. It was not successful. So from there, I was just like, all right, I already kind of knew that. Let's go. Big joke of me. You only gonna cut me once. You only gonna take my jack of spade once. Next up, we going big. I personally decided not to go back to IUI. Now, you may hear when you're on this journey, oh, IUI is more successful the more you do it. I don't know what kind of equation that is. I'm gonna need to get the actual, like, put the division thing up there, carry the 1, X equals MC squared. I don't know. I don't know how your insurance go. I don't know what your budget is like, but it ain't free. Unless you know something, I don't know. Tell me what. But let's just say roughly around $5,000, whereas IVF can start around like $20,000. So, and we're talking like base rates. Somebody might say, okay, I'm willing to drop that $5,000. Because I ain't ready to go big joker. You know what I'm saying? But when you hear, oh, it's more successful the more you do it or something like that, it's like, okay, $15,000. Now we might as well have did big joker. So, no shade to anybody who chooses that route. Know your insurance, because shady enough, and shame on these insurance companies for making people have 4 or 5 IUIs before they will approve them, allowing them to cover IVF. Yes. Imagine paying all this money towards your insurance just to have insurance. And then when you finally need to use insurance, it's some shady clause in there. So know your insurance. Even if you don't need to use it right now, even if you don't know if you want to have kids right now, even if it's not about kids, if it's about fibroids, about anything, you need to know your policies. People just sign it. Oh, yep, I want that. It's cool. And you don't even know what it cover or don't cover. And now that's coming out of your paycheck, baby. They gonna get their bread regardless. Like I said, I'm going to do a separate video on things and tips that I have learned in this process about insurance, what to look for, what to ask, things you can do, etc. I'm going to do an in-depth insurance only video, but I just wanted to touch on that briefly because this is my first video finally diving into my fertility journey and subsequently my fibroid and fibroid surgeries. I hope that this helps someone. You know, just sparks an environment where people feel like they're not alone. This is more common than you think. Way more people that you probably even know are going through or have gone through similar issues. So do not feel alone. Share this with somebody that you may know going through it. If you don't know anybody going through it, just share it in general because somebody might be suffering silently and may need to see this. As always, like, comment, share, show love. Even if you're not on the fertility journey, even if you're not dealing with fibroids, even if you don't know if you want to have kids, this is still information that I feel like everybody with a uterus should know. Look forward for part 2 coming